we got it going here. All right, so I'm going to record this segment also because I think it's an important segment. We're going to be talking about VERU, latest developments on VERU today. We got a couple questions on the LIXT. These are cheaper stocks, and you know, when it comes with the cheaper stocks, they're always more speculative in a way that you know, I always say, you know, and that's my argument to anybody who always brings me a cheap stock. I said if it was meant to be $10, it would be trading at $10. It's not that I'm going to get the, you know, I'm the person who's going to figure that out. All right, so that's kind of a disclaimer for me, because I'm a very, you know, big skeptic when it comes to people telling me that a stock is worth a lot more than it's trading at, because if it was, it would recognize that and it would be trading at that level. You're not smarter than the stock market. But there's also a situation when you will, you know, look back at a chart and you say, wow, this stock was at $1, or this stock was at $1, and now it's at $20 or $6 or $7 or $2. It doesn't matter. As long as it's higher, most stocks are, you know, a lot of stocks will go from that point to that point, but there has to be a process, there has to be a time limit. And it's very hard. Trading is, you know, when it goes up, you could see it be very bullish and all of a sudden get in, and then it starts moving down, and because of your risk, you know, you might get shaken out, and then it moves back up and stuff. And it's all about the bigger picture, and it's all about news that sometimes is, you know, it's just not a definite thing. You know, the plan is out there, and everything's, you know, set. You know, the roadmap and the pipeline, just like anything else. There's always a roadmap and a timeline for these things, but it's hard to, you know, expect to get in and see that happen. If we could do that, then we'd be really pinpointing the stocks we want to get into. So that brings us to the VERU update, which, as you know, I got into VERU a while ago and brought it to the show. And I brought it to the show because the person that brought it to me was a long-time trading person. They were kind of a mentor to me, a very experienced trader, someone well beyond my my net worth value. You know, just, you know, a tremendous trader who got that way from, you know, knowing how to trade and finding companies and investing in companies and moving and getting these companies at a discount because they can they have a team and they read the books, they know what the business plan is, and it's about, you know, when you have that money and you can invest multiple millions of shares, you know, you're not worried about the fluctuation of 20 to 50 cents in the stock. It's just not something that you worry about. And then when we get into it, and you talk about traders that might be beginning trading and they have 5,000, they put it all into a stock and it doesn't perform. You know, it's very hard to, you know, justify that. I understand. I mean, you're all going to be in that situation at one point. It's a thing. But all right, so here's the VERU chart, the fast update. I learned about it back in February, March. If you probably look back in the trade alerts, you probably see my first entry on that. I'll look myself. Let's see if I can find it. If it's even in. What was that? Something. All right, let's see what we have on VERU. Bought VERU at 169. I bought 1,000 at 199. I bought 2,000 at 195. Bought 1,000 at 201. 1,000 at 226. So I was also buying as it went up. Oh, this is the announcement from Ninja Trader. All right. I got to not show that again. That pops up sometimes in the middle of the night. High risk, but the first position here was bought 1,000 at 124, bought another 4,000 at 134. So now up to 17,000 shares, and my cost average is above this level. So I'm actually down on this stock, even though I was in on this at 124 was my first position, and 134, and then 130, 141, and 135, and 182, and then bought more back. But it was a position that was working out great. It pulled back. They did an offering to get some of the trials going, and this is where we're at 136 now. What's the story on this? Well, they have all these drugs in the pipeline. They were VERU Health Company. There was a female condom company. They still own that product, and they still sell that product, and that funds the company. They're actually making money selling their female condom and some other, I guess, I don't even know what the kind of. We talked about it all day today, and it got to a point where it became such a funny joke because we were talking about all these sexual problems that the company was, they had condoms, they had ED ED and PE. You can read into those initials if you want. And they deal with all these products. And they make money selling those products, and they got some new contracts, and the last earnings was really good. But the really key is that they're transforming into an oncology company. They're treating prostate cancer, and they have 4 drugs in the pipeline. 2 of them are dealing with cancer. 2 of them, another one is tamsulosin. I think they do deal with hot flashes and prostate stuff, and it's just, there's a lot of things in there, and there's some positive developments coming out, and we're waiting for that. And that's the problem. It's just waiting for good news to move the stock. And that's where we are right now. And who knows? I mean, they get good results on this. They partner up. Who knows where this could go? And I can't even tell you that, other than know that there's a bigger picture out there, and it's just a process that's playing out. I mean, I wish I could say this is where you should get in, instead of back here or up here. You never know where it's going to go. Today, we found out that in the press release, they announced over the conference call, they partnered up with a major internet distribution company to sell their PE cream. I'm going to keep on saying PE. People are like, what does PE mean? We'll look it up. And but they never announced it. They said a major company. I don't know why they didn't announce it in their press conference or whatever. So I did some investigating today. I went on the site. I got a call on it, and someone told me what it was. So I looked it up, and and I pretty much confirmed that. We have a new product out, and who puts it out is Getroman, Getroman.com. And the only reason I know about Getroman is because I listen to Sirius Satellite Radio every day driving to work. And then on the Howard Sirius Satellite Radio, all the channels, Getroman is always on there. And then I just got a feed on my Facebook. I got it. And on ESPN just picked up the contracts to doing the commercials for Getroman. And Getroman now is selling the VERU cream, to don't let me to get too excited cream. So I thought that was huge news, but they didn't officially announce it yet. They didn't announce the company that they teamed up with. But you do a little investigative reporting like I did today, you'll figure it out pretty fast. So I don't know if that's a major news that hasn't been released, but I thought it was pretty good. Also today we had insider buying. We had insider filing, and this is, I think, pretty significant. A Form 4 buy 100,000 shares, total for $146,160 at a price of $1.46. Chief Scientific Officer. Date dated 12/18/18. All right, so he bought 100,000 shares on the open market, $1.46. That's basically right where it was trading here the last couple of days. So scientific officer. There's 4 trials going on. You think this guy would be buying if they were going to come out with news that the trial failed? Or there was some delay? Here it is right here. I want to show it to you right now. That's what I'm thinking, and I'm surprised it didn't move the market more, or at least to move this. But of course, the market was down a lot. This is down here, VERU, direct purchase, code, direct purchase, 50,000, 100,000. This guy bought some more before on the 7th. So this is a second. All right, so this is the filing. This is 100,000, one on the 17th and 18th, $1.41, $1.51. Cost average, I guess, $1.46. So he got in $1.51 too. He acquired it. What is that? Acquired or disposed? Acquired. So, all right. So this was pretty good. I don't know how much he owns. Let's take a look on what else he owns on this, because this is a new guy they hired, and four filings. That's that one. Let's see what was the latest filing here. VERU. I have to look at a different link on this, I think. $10K pre-14. Filing 4. Here's another filing 4. 1213. Power of no primary document. I have to read into this a little bit more. But anyway, this one is a big one, and this is right before there's supposed to be some news. So, I'm reading into that. I'm thinking some good things. This is not that far off the recent highs. I mean, yeah, it is relative to what the percentage is and stuff. But, for this whole thing, it's living, any news comes out, this could easily pop back up. It's done it before. It could run, multiple dollars on positive news. So we're in it. That's the latest. They've teamed up with Roman, Getroman. You probably heard the ads. You might hear the ads on ESPN going forward. I see my ads on Facebook just because I was doing the research. Now I'm getting all these ads asking me I need to fix myself. But and then I I actually called the company today. I never got through for some reason, which I was wondering, like, all right, this is supposed to be a big company. They never put me on hold. I was on 10 minutes, and then I hung up. And then I found there was an online, chat service. So I chatted up, and I wanted to see if they actually offered what's called a PREBOOST, which is the VERU product. It's PREBOOST. It's called PREBOOST. And the guy was, of course, contracted out. Doesn't know anything about the company, but what I found out, I got directed to a site where it says this is a new product, and it corresponds with the announcement that they have a new contract with a new person. So this all adds together. So they're licensing out the PREBOOST on GetRoman.com, and they're selling it for VERU. And I think that's pretty huge because I can't get away from this GetRoman these ads. Their ads are crazy. So that's where we stand on the VERU. Believe me, I want this thing I want to see some news coming out on this. As a normal trader, you want to get a 3 to 5 day trade. This has ended up being a year hold for me. The other one is LIXT, LIXT, and the latest on this is they did this financing thing where you would have to, Deep Throat was telling me about it. Where you have to be a millionaire, you have to have so much capital, you could buy 50,000 share lots for 50 cents on a dollar, I don't know, and you couldn't sell them for 6 months, and you could, it's just, it was a financing thing. It didn't dilute the stock at all. The price is actually holding up here, and if I would look at this, actually, looking at this stock gets me extremely excited because this is a type of stock I would look back at in the 90s, 2000, early 2000s. This type of consolidation that's holding in this market environment. And this market environment, is selling, but this is under the radar. This is absolutely under the radar. These penny stocks and cheap crap like this flies under the radar. They're not going to be affected by selling in the overall market. But as most pump and dumps do, they tend to pump and they come right back to the level. This has been holding on to this level for a while. This is looking extremely bullish to me in a way that the only reason this would drop down, I think, would be bad news. It already, there is just a good feel to this. It's up 100%. Again, the LIXT, my background in the LIXT came from the same source. And if you were, I started my position on July 22nd. Picked up 5,000 shares at 18 cents. 18 cents. So that was when I first heard of it, July 22nd, 2018. And as you can see where we are right now. So and the problem is we might talk about it now at 94 cents. At the time, you don't get into it until you start to see it really running. Like, oh my God, remember the day it went up to like $2? And I actually sold some of it. And then I ended up buying some more back because I believed in the story. And this doesn't have a story that I understand as much as VERU. VERU has a story that I understand. This one is basically, at the time, it was cheap enough. And I was like, all right, yeah, no problem. I'll get me in, and it worked out. And I sold some, and I'm still holding some. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't even know what the product is, to tell you the truth. It's a cancer product. They have one product. They have good financing. They got their testing done for free. So it's just someone believes in the company. It's holding up here. I don't know where it could go. It's a moonshot. It's a moonshot. It looks good. The consolidation is bullish. Everything is bullish on this. I'll take a look at the latest news right now. Hang with me. It's my news. Going to be talking about VERU. That's me. I know, especially after increased shorts. All right, so Stephen Foreman, 5 days ago, acquires 100 shares of LIXT Biotech. So during that financing, they were offering these blocks of 50,000 shares you could buy. So that showed up as the insiders. Gil Schwartzberg acquires 1,040,000 shares. These are the people buying that financing. Director Stephen Foreman buys 50,000 shares in LIXT. Well, anyway, the chart is looking good. There's no news that I've heard on this. It's another kind of a moonshot. If we get good news, that's great. Hanging in there with it. So, and I know, what I want to discuss is the appeal of these, especially someone who might be trading. You can't $Maximilian type of trade and get into, 500 SPY at 100 and whatever it's trading at, dollars a share. You're looking at these possible moonshots because you have to build your account. So you're putting a lot of trust in me doing this, and that's I run the risk of that too. But you have to understand, I'm a human too. I want to take a gamble too. So if it's a gamble, you got to know it's a gamble. I mean, I want to make the money too. I wouldn't get in it if I didn't think it was an okay gamble. I still think this is a great gamble. But that's the key word. I don't know no insider information on this. I have more information on the VERU, as we do. The chart doesn't look that bad either. To tell you the truth, there is a divergence here. There's a divergence here on the 14.3. Well, that little spike down candle right here, I would consider something worth looking at. That little candle, low candle there. It came back. But yeah. So that's the update on VERU, LIXT. That's the only thing I'm really looking at on the cheap ones. Still love, other than the smackdown today, I was really liking that service now. Still love it. Feel it's going to go higher. The earnings were good. The Coop, the same thing. It actually held up pretty good. They put in higher highs and higher lows. Even though the market was down, close to 351 points, these actually held up today. So I am still extremely bullish on these, even though the market did sell off. I did buy some long shot calls today. I did buy some long shot calls. Just looking to see if we get a massive rally tomorrow and regain everything we lost today and push higher up 1,000 points. You know, that's what I wanted to see today. I got it a little early on some of the calls, and I picked up some right at the low. So I just want to take that gamble. When in Vegas, this is a Vegas trade for me. Other than that, I have just a few stocks that I'm really, really interested in. I'm waiting for this all clear to come out in the markets. All right, so that's it on the VERU and the LIXT update. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll be, of course, covering that every day on DayTraderRadio.com. As I record this, I'm doing this live on the show, so you already know that. But if anybody else gets to hear this, if you have any questions on that, you can reach me at DTRS@DayTradingRadio.com, or just come to DayTradingRadio.com. We're broadcasting basically 24/7. The way I feel, I was looking at myself in the mirror today. I was like, man, I look like I'm tired. I have bags under my eyes today. What am I gonna do? Anyway, like Conan said, there'll be enough time to sleep in the grave. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the markets. I'll pause this. The show will continue here, Day Trading Radio. We'll pause on this right now.